Well, g'day everyone. Wanted to talk to you today about using some filters to give a beautiful effect in your videography. One of the things that I've noticed with your digital cameras is it can look over sharpened if you're using, well, the modern lenses. And sometimes, particularly if you're doing weddings and things like that, it's nicer to get a little bit of a more soft look. So I have had these filters for a number of weeks now, so I've been able to really give them a great test. And they work wonderful with their ND filters. Now I've always recommended those because they're much cheaper than, say, the Peter McKinnon ones, and I found them just as good. And in fact, I've reviewed that in a previous video comparing the two, and they work wonderful together, and I'll show that in operation shortly how I do use that. But what I've been doing over the last few weeks, I've taken a number of images with the A7S III, and I've went down the coast photographing or filming some waterfalls and things like that, and I also went down the coast and did some beautiful ocean sort of scenery as well, and they were wonderful. I decided to use those because what I'm intending to do is to use these in my weddings, and in fact, after using it, I'm almost tempted to leave the 1/8 on it permanently. Now what I've got here, they've sent me two versions. So there's a 1/8 and there's also a 1/4 as well. Now they're different strengths, and I've found that, and I'll show you these this sort of footage when we're going on. I've found that the 1/8 is much better for keeping on your camera and things like that during the day because it's not overpowering. If you use the 1/4, it can be overpowering, but it does give you a beautiful look at night if you want to get that beautiful halo that's around lights and things like that. And I'll show some examples of these as they're actually being used. So let me just show you what's in the box of these. So they are very nicely packaged. It does tell you on there that these are called the Glow Mist, and I'll leave all the links down below where you can get these from as well. This is the Glow Mist, and you'll see there too that it does show that it's the 1/4 as well. And then you get some little instructions inside here. I'm just going to open this up. So you get some stickers, I think there's a lens cleaning cloth and stuff like that, and a little instruction booklet as well with things in there as well. So let me just put those to the side. And then the filters come in this little package. Now there's two parts to this. There's a little magnetic cover that you can use here to protect it, and then you've obviously got the filter that's inside this package as well. So let me take that out. Now when you take them out, they do label on them what this is. So this is on the side here, it's actually saying that it's a 1/4. And like I said, this is the one that gives you more of a halo and a very, very soft look. Sometimes that can be really nice. Like I can't wait to start using these in weddings and start to experiment with them and things like that before I do that. Like I said, they also come with this little magnetic cover. Now these are really strong. So when I put that on, it really locks on. And in fact, they're quite hard to get off when you haven't got it on the camera. When it's on the camera, it's not an issue. So that's the little magnetic lock on these. Now they also come with a little screw-in adapter, so you can leave these on your lens. Now this is for a 67mm filter size. You can get step-up rings and things like that as well though. So what you do is you just screw the filter into your lens. So I'll screw that on. And the beauty now is that you can just take that off. Now what's fantastic about this is that instead of having normal filters like this where you have to screw them on and off all the time, it can be a real pain. You can just flip it on and it's automatically in place. There's no vignetting or anything like that. I've tested that, it all seems to work fine. And again, you can pull them off. So if you are, say, running 2 or 3 of these versions of filters or any of their other filters, you can just put it on and then it works straight away. So that's fantastic. And then you can even just grab the cover and then stick the cover back on so that it's all protected in one go. So the system is really, it's flawless. It works fantastic. The magnets are strong enough that it doesn't come off unless you really pull it off. You know, and then you've got the cover on there as well. So that's great. But they also, like I said, they'll also work as well with the ND filter. So this has got the ND filter on this one. So all you'll do is grab it like that. That's got the ND on there. and then you can just drop that in and it drops into place, and then you can still rotate your lens to get your filter. This is the 6 to 9. So it's great. So instead of having to always screw everything in, you can just, like I said, pull them on and off. You can add the cover if you want to cover it as well, like that. So it's really a great system, and I'm really enjoying it, using it in fact. And like I said, now I'm almost tempted to leave it on permanently for doing say weddings and things like that, because it does give you that beautiful soft look. So what I'll do now is I'll just open up some images and I'll show you the type of effect that this gives you, and then you'll sort of have a better understanding of what this lens or this filter actually does. So what I'll do now is I'll just open up some images and sort of talk about what's happened with them and how the filters actually work with their different strengths. So this was the first time that I actually used this filter. I thought I'd try it to see how it was in daylight. And you can see it gives a lovely soft type look to it that looks sort of more vintagey when you're looking at them, and it does sort of open up the shadows a little bit too, which is really nice as well. But I particularly love how it's very flattering on the skin. You get this beautiful soft type look that goes through the whole image. It still has sharpness there, but it sort of takes that digital edge off the image as well. And this is why I was saying that I wouldn't mind to use this in weddings as well. And I mean, this part I'm looking here is just a landscape, and it still has that lovely sort of vintagey feel to this image. So now that you've looked at what the 1/8 does outdoors, I thought I'd show how this looks indoors. So this is just a light that's indoors, and there's no filter on at all here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 1/8 on, and you should sort of see when I bring that in how it adds that little bloom. You can see what I'm doing at this stage is just putting it on, and it gives a little bloom that you sort of see on the outside edges, which is lovely. But this is only the 1/8. The 1/4 is much stronger, and that's why I keep moving it off and bringing it back on to sort of show you the difference of what's happening here. Now, when I do the 1/4, you're going to see it's much stronger, and that's why I'm saying if you're doing nighttime stuff with lights, this gives you a beautiful soft type look that you often see in movies and things like that, and this is the type of image that you get with that, and I think it looks really gorgeous. So what I wanted to do here, I wanted to sort of show outside. Now I've just put the 1/8 on, and you can see it doesn't have a great effect, but when the car turns around, you can see that you'll get blooming from the headlights. It just depends what's sort of going on. You can see that lovely as that car just turned around. Now, as I take it off, I've now put the 1/4 on. You can really see that the 1/4 is beautiful if you want to get that blooming at night time, to have that lovely sort of soft look around lights. When I take it off now, you'll see that it's gone and it's hard again, and then I'll put it back on for you just to give you a look of it both ways, and you can see that gives a lovely result as well. So again, I thought I'd show you in a more vintage location. So this is without a filter. Look at the lights in the window. And now next I'm going to add the 1/8. And you can see now you're getting that nice softness coming in on those lights and also the windows. And the shadows have opened up a little bit as well. If I put the 1/4 on, you can see that it's really opened up the shadows and you're getting lots of blooming through the window and the lights. So it works very well. This hallway would be beautiful with a bride walking down it. That's filter off. This is with the 1/8. You can see there's a little bit of blooming there, and then the 1/4, you can see that it's just added more and the shadows have also opened up. This last one here, again, that's no filter. This is the 1/8 filter that's been put on, and then lastly there is the 1/4, and they look fabulous. So let me know what you think about them. I mean, I'm really, really happy with these results, and I think for the price, they're very, very good. And in fact, it does take away that digital type look that you get with your normal images, because they can be over sharp, particularly if you use things like the GM24 and lenses like that. The only issue I've sort of found is that if you do use zoom lenses, it does become a stronger look as you zoom in, so you do have to be careful with that. So you have to sort of take that into consideration. So if you have, say, a 1/4, for instance, and then you have a long lens, it will exaggerate those sort of that diffusion look. Now that's not a problem. It just means that you're going to have to change depending on what zoom lens you have. Like if you would normally use a 1/4, you might find if you zoom in a long way that you would then use an 1/8 to get that same look. So it is something you've got to sort of keep in mind as you're using them. Apart from that, though, it's wonderful. I love the look it gives, particularly the 1/8, just to leave on your camera to get a lovely soft look. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Bye for now.